What is going on, fight fans? So today we got an interesting topic. The topic of don't compare Shakur to Floyd Mayweather ever. He's not like that. That's the big thing going around now. Hey, stop comparing Floyd. Floyd, he had a masterful career. And don't you forget, he had a pretty boy era. And people forget that he was a pretty boy before he was money. And a lot of people, they want to be money without being pretty boy. That's the sentiments out there when it comes to Shakur Stevenson. How quickly do people forget? How quickly do people forget? A lot of people are saying, Shakur, man, I like you, man, but you just need to stop talking on Twitter, man. Just turn your phone off and like never say a word and show up to the fights and we'll watch you. No, you won't. No, you won't. Why are you lying? You could feel annoyed by him, but the annoyance actually makes you watch. You can feel annoyed, but the annoyance actually makes you watch. Stop lying. Everybody need to stop pretending like every move that Shakur makes, they just don't like it. Ugh, man. If he didn't do anything on Twitter, you know what will be the narrative? If he didn't do anything on Twitter, the narrative would be he don't know how to promote himself using social media. He don't do anything. He doesn't talk. That's what the narrative would be. But because he is on Twitter, now it's just, you use Twitter too much. Don't use it. That's the stuff that's getting him the views. That's the stuff that's getting him the views. It's just a more evolved form of high-level trash talking where the people want to see you lose, which is what Floyd Mayweather was doing. And you know how many people would say, Floyd, just stop talking trash, man. If you just didn't talk trash at the press conference, you would be so much more likable and I would actually want to watch your fights. That's what they were saying. Meanwhile, this man went on to do 2.2 million with or 2.4 million with Oscar De La Hoya. He went on to do 1 million something with Ricky Hatton, 1.1 million or 1 million on the money with Juan Manuel Marquez. The man was doing money, was making money because you guys hated him so much that you wanted to watch. And a lot of people are like, yeah, well, 50% hated him and 50% watched him because they liked him. So what are you talking about? Yeah, if that math was correct, that means the man would be hitting 500,000 pay-per-views and not 1 million. If you want to go with the 50-50, but more than likely back then, the majority of people watched him because they didn't like him and they wanted to see him lose, which is where Shakur Stevenson finds himself in a very similar position. Now, is he as famous as Floyd? No. But nor was Floyd as famous as Floyd before he was as famous as Floyd. It all starts somewhere. It all starts somewhere. The thing that you guys don't understand is that when comparing Shakur Stevenson to Floyd Mayweather, we're only really comparing Floyd Mayweather's early career to Shakur Stevenson's current career. Because Floyd Mayweather, early on, you know, within his 20 fights or whatever, he was not the Floyd Mayweather that became the guy with the greatest resume of all time, in my opinion. People argue with me all the time, but I do believe that Floyd Mayweather has the greatest resume ever constructed, and he won all those fights, which makes it even more pristine. But a lot of you don't even really know what you're talking about when it comes to Floyd Mayweather. You just don't. And I mean, how much of an avid fan that I was, or during when Floyd Mayweather was fighting, I'm still actually a fan of him, but like the amount of fandom that I had for Floyd Mayweather when he was fighting is insane. Like, I was a super Floyd Mayweather fan. I went to the Canelo fight. I bought like really good tickets for the Canelo fight. I would throw fight parties all the time for Floyd. I watched every single fight in retrospect, because there was even a YouTube channel, a Floyd Mayweather YouTube channel run, I think, by Floyd Mayweather's team, where it had all his fights on there, all his earlier fights. So I literally seen every single fight he's ever had. I was an avid Floyd Mayweather fan. But here's the thing that y'all need to understand. In reality, Floyd ended with an immaculate career. But Floyd's career early on, in comparison to Shakur, it actually doesn't even compare. You want to know why? Oh, everybody's ready to go. Nah, man, you crazy. It was the Pretty Boy Floyd era when he was knocking everybody out. Well, guess what? Shakur also had a Pretty Boy Floyd phase. The only difference is that Floyd was fighting all the time and fighting dudes that were like 1-13, 4-18. People that it was their boxing debut. Shakur has never fought anybody on their boxing debut, even during his debut. Shakur has never fought anybody with a losing record. Shakur literally hypersped himself, or speed ran, to a world title. Shakur Stevenson won a world title at 13 fights, which is the third or fourth fastest ever. Only behind Lomachenko. It might actually be the second fastest or the third fastest, behind Lomachenko and another fighter from like the 1970s or the 1960s who won a world title in an astronomical 2 fights. But other than that one event, Lomachenko won a world title in like 3 fights. Shakur Stevenson won it in 13 fights, and that is the fastest, the third fastest ever. Floyd Mayweather, it took him 18 fights to do that. Floyd Mayweather took 28 fights to even move up in weight. He started at 130. Shakur Stevenson started at super feather. Floyd Mayweather started at featherweight. Shakur Stevenson moved up in 14 fights. By the time that Floyd Mayweather moved up in weight at 28 fights, Shakur already established himself as a 3-division world champion. In terms of the plus minuses with CompuBox, in terms of not getting hit, Shakur is more defensively sound than Floyd Mayweather was when Floyd Mayweather was younger. A lot of people want to use the age of Floyd as opposed to looking at the actual competition. Oh, but when Floyd was this age, look at how many wins and knockouts he had. Yeah, Floyd was fighting in 1997. Floyd fought 10 times. The only way you can fight 10 times if you're fighting bums. In 1998, he fought 8 times. Y'all really think y'all know about Floyd, but y'all don't know about Floyd. And if you think that Shakur didn't have a knockout era or whatever, he did have his knockout era. But it's much harder to have a super crazy knockout if every single time you're fighting the #1 contender, the world champion, in the beginning of your career. So he's not going to have 10 fights when you're fighting elite fighters. You can have 10 fights if you're fighting somebody that's 4-13, 1-18, or 4-18, 1-13. That's what Floyd was doing. Somebody who ain't never fight before. That's who Floyd was knocking out in his early career. But y'all don't talk about that. And then when y'all look at his new career, or his where he really started turning the tide and he became one of the best fighters of all time, y'all only cherry picking his fights. How quickly do y'all forget? He was always considered boring. Not to me. The same way Shakur is not considered boring to me. Not to me. He was always considered boring to the majority of fans. Definitely the casuals hated him. The casuals definitely thought he was boring. A good chunk of actual boxing fans thought he was boring, because there's boxing fans that don't like boxing, which is crazy, but it exists. There's boxing fans that don't like boxing, that just want to see knockouts and somebody piling on an attack. There's people that would tell Floyd Mayweather, oh, that dude was mad easy though. Why ain't you, you know what I'm saying? Why ain't you knock him out? He's so easy. And Floyd would be like, listen, man, I get my wins under any circumstances. That dude was there to survive. He didn't want to. But how quickly we forget. Actually, I posted this video on, I made a video, quick little snippet, kind of showing a little bit of what I'm talking about right here, to express, you know, what I mean in terms of Shakur Stevenson and the similarities between Shakur Stevenson and Floyd Mayweather. But I truly believe that the early career of Shakur Stevenson is actually much more elite than the early career of Floyd Mayweather. I mean, Shakur Stevenson's first 22 fights are way harder than Floyd Mayweather's first 22 fights, and it's not even an argument. Stop comparing them by age. It's easy for Floyd to by the age of Shakur Stevenson right now to have 27 wins and all these knockouts on whatever, when he was fighting 10 fights a year. Anybody could fight 10 fights a year if a bunch of the people that you're fighting to start off your career, they're bums. And it's just made so that so that you can get highlights, knockout highlights, because that's how you sold back then. There wasn't a Floyd Mayweather blueprint where you could just be super technically sound and everybody hates you, but you're gonna watch. That didn't exist. Floyd created that for the first time. So let's quickly look at that video that I put together. Just a quick little snippet so you guys can get an idea of the sentiment of how people felt back then with Floyd Mayweather.
The boy hit him on top of the head and down he goes. And that right cross was just a little short. Marcellus goes down. Just as you said that, he ate a straight left hand and then a combination.
Lands, Leija stunned again. And you can stop at any time.
The stunning left. Oh, cracker of a shot. Shakur Stevenson.
One punch. That's it. I don't think Floyd's worried about his.
Wanted to test him.
Oh, a knockdown score.
Riley was observing.
Oh, knockdown score.
Two-punch combination from Shakur. There's a short right hand up top, and then he splits the guard. Then he finishes down to the body.
Just to make them shots.
Oh, there was a body shot right on the hip.
Standing firm, not being moved like a mountain. Whoa, what a big shot.
Short left hand.
This short shot.
Solid short shot combination.
Got to continue to get more consistent with that work.
Oh, there's the left hand to the body.
All right, Artunian's he's on the track meet. He's the one with the track shoes now. Artunian's still strong.
Mayweather grinning.
You get a guy you can hit with a right hand anytime you want to. And you would be running from him? No way not. Look at what happened when Robinson fought LaMotta.
Well, a heck of a year for Carlos Valdemir. Win over Zab Judah in New York, and his stirrings to make a fight against Floyd Mayweather, as Mayweather is choosing opponent against Oscar De La Hoya. You wonder what De La Hoya thinks of what he's seen and what whether Mayweather's application is still active. Valdemir had one of his best moments of the fight. Mayweather greenback.
As a gladiator, what? Do you think this was particularly entertaining? I mean, there were people booing, there were people leaving after the 10th and 11th round, and since you've brought the subject up, I want your...
I just needed to put this video out because the whole don't compare him to Floyd, don't compare him to Floyd, and people cherry picking like his fights, right? Like picking his Miguel Cotto fight. Look how exciting this fight was. And it's like, yeah, but y'all forgot about the Valdemir fight because that fight was considered boring. Y'all forgot about the Manny Pacquiao fight because a lot of people thought that fight was boring. People just thought people typecasted Floyd as boring because they hated the dude. And the person who's actually manifested that power, where it's not to the level of what Floyd had, but it's brewing more than anybody else has ever in the history of the sport after Floyd Mayweather, in terms of being exactly like Floyd Mayweather. It ain't Tank. Tank is more like Mike Tyson. You're watching Tank for the excitement of the knockouts. You didn't watch Floyd for the excitement of anything. You watched Floyd because he was a tactical master for a small minority, and for a large majority, you wanted to see him lose. Who's that person now? Who's that actual person now? Shakur, where he's so good, he can't lose. But you hate him so much, you're going to watch him hoping that you see something. So you can meme him, so he could lose, so he could get knocked down. You just want to see something. That's why you're watching. I guarantee you, if Shakur Stevenson fought Tank, it would do more pay-per-view numbers than if Tank fought anybody else. I guarantee you. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and end it right there. We just had to clear the air on that. Y'all think y'all know about Floyd. Y'all don't really know about Floyd. Y'all just know what y'all have heard about Floyd. Y'all haven't really paid attention to Floyd Mayweather. Stop cherry picking his exciting fights and saying, see, and then comparing that to his Artem fight. No, the Artem fight is more comparable to the Carlos Valdemir fight. Use the Carlos Valdemir, where Carlos Valdemir had like 7 losses, wasn't even a big deal. Floyd should have knocked him out. And yet Floyd outboxed him and people thought he was boring. That's the Artem fight. Artem ain't a big deal. People thought he was boring. Because when you put Shakur in there with like the highest of highest levels, like Jamel Herring and Oscar Valdez, he puts on a clinic. So don't look at any of the Floyd Mayweather's fights with the highest level of competition that he had and compare that to when Shakur fought somebody that's not at the highest level. Pick when Floyd fought somebody that wasn't at the highest level as well. Stop cherry picking stuff to create narratives because you just don't like Shakur Stevenson. And stop trying to tell Shakur Stevenson not to tweet on Twitter, because that's literally what's getting him the views. He's just evolved the form of trash talking, or he's in the involved stage of trash talking. Look at the whole thing with Dylan Dennis. The whole being on Twitter and making people hate you through Twitter, or using Twitter to create viral tweets. That's the new thing to make you a boxing star. It's a good blueprint that's being fleshed out right now. Anyways, I could be here forever. We're going to go ahead and end this video here. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Is Shakur Stevenson, am I a fan of Shakur Stevenson? Obviously, right? He's my favorite fighter. But I'm not going to just sit back and just let people create false narratives. I'm just not. Because I know Floyd's career like the back of my hand. I know Floyd's career like the back of my hand. I wasn't a Floyd super fan almost when I was younger. So when people are saying this and that, I know what I remember all the things. I'm like, yeah, I wasn't there. Stop it. Stop pretending like I ain't want Manny Pacquiao to knock Floyd Mayweather out for years. Stop pretending like whenever something happened, it wasn't always blamed on Floyd. When Manny Pacquiao didn't want to take random blood and urine, it was literally blamed on Floyd. The fight not happening because of that thing was blamed on. Let that happen now, and imagine. Yeah. I just have short-term memory. Anyways, until the next one, guys. Peace out.